Michael O'Leary, you've seen today's article in Aftonbladet, which has made a number of claims about Ryanair. Is Ryanair governed by dictatorship?
No, in a modern European democracy like Ireland, you can't govern 9,000 people by dictatorship. People join here freely, people work here freely, and anybody who doesn't like working here would leave.
Aftonbladet claimed that Ryanair operates in the 1800s when it comes to employment law. Is this true?
Nobody in the European Union works in the 1800s when it comes to employment law. All of Ryanair's people enjoy the protection of all Irish and EU employment law, as well as the excellent terms and conditions that they enjoy when working for Ryanair.
Aftonbladet claimed that Ryanair is led through fear and terror. Is this true?
No, you can't lead 9,000 people through anything else other than persuasion and leadership. The reason 9,000 people work here and are happy to work here is because they're well paid, they're well treated, and they have very good rosters, terms and conditions. And in fact, Ryanair has more than 5,000 pilots and cabin crew on a waiting list who want to join Ryanair at a time when, for example, SAS are cutting jobs and cutting pay. I think if there's any group of workers at the moment who are living in fear, it's SAS's pilots and cabin crew, not Ryanair's.
Aftonbladet claimed that Ryanair refuses to negotiate with the unions and collective agreements. Is this true?
We do refuse to negotiate with unions, particularly unions spreading false claims about Ryanair's safety. We do, however, and have engaged in collective bargaining for over 20 years. We negotiate directly with our pilots and our cabin crews at most of our bases, including our base in Stockholm Skavsta.
Aftonbladet claimed that the majority of pilots are underpaid compared to the rest of the industry. What would you say to that?
Complete rubbish. I mean, Ryanair's pilots are very well paid. Our captains, for example, in Skavsta last year, the average Ryanair captain in Skavsta last year earned over €130,000. The best paid earned close to €160,000. And if they weren't well paid, they would leave. Remember, lots of other airlines, including Norwegian, are hiring pilots. Ryanair's pilots don't leave because they enjoy the best job security, the best pay, the best rosters of any group of pilots in Europe.
Aftonbladet claimed that new pilots at Ryanair often earn less than 15,000 Swedish crowns or €1,700 per month. Is this true?
No, it's rubbish. Again, we gave Aftonbladet, the journalist involved, the figures for the average pay of Ryanair's pilots last year. The average first officer in Skavsta in 2012 earned over €70,000 per year, and the average captain earned over €130,000 per year. The figures quoted by Aftonbladet are untrue, and the journalists know they are untrue.
And Aftonbladet claimed that Ryanair pilots cannot leave because there are very few pilot jobs in the industry today.
It's rubbish, complete rubbish. Norwegian are hiring, Wizz are hiring, EasyJet are hiring. In fact, lots of other airlines are hiring. And yet, Ryanair has a waiting list of some almost 5,000 pilots and cabin crew who want to join Ryanair. The reason why is because our people enjoy job security, good pay, good rosters, and they're flying on brand new aircraft.
Aftonbladet claimed that cabin crew based in Sweden earn around 4,000 Swedish crowns or €460 per month. Is this true?
No, again, the figure is rubbish. Again, we gave Aftonbladet, the journalist involved, the actual figures for 2012. The average cabin crew member at the Skavsta base last year earned over €30,000 for the full year, which I think is approximately or in excess of 300,000 Swedish kronor.
Okay. Aftonbladet claimed that Ryanair cabin crew live like Thai berry pickers. Is this true?
No, it's another one of these invented claims. Look, people who are not well treated or not well paid leave. The reality in Ryanair is our cabin crew and our pilots don't leave because they recognise they're well paid, they're happy, they have very good rosters and very good working conditions in Ryanair.
Aftonbladet claimed that Ryanair pilots and contract employees are only paid while the aircraft is flying and not on the ground. Is this true?
That's true. Our contract rates are based on flight hours. But the fact is, they're adjusted upwards to reflect the fact that they don't get paid while they're on the ground. So, for example, a contract captain in Ryanair is paid an hourly rate of over €150 per flight hour. They know that over the year they'll operate more than up to 900 hours, which means they're guaranteed to get something of the order of 120 to 130,000 euros.
The Swedish Pilots Union have claimed Ryanair cabin crew have to pay for their own training. Is this true?
No. Ryanair cabin crew have never paid for their own training. The training in Ryanair for cabin crew and pilots is provided by Ryanair free of charge. But again, what exactly does the Ryanair Swedish Pilots Union know about cabin crew? They're just running around inventing false claims, and sadly Aftonbladet are publishing these false claims without giving Ryanair either the right to reply or publishing our corrections.
Aftonbladet claimed that Ryanair staff encounter threats of disciplinary action and dismissal all the time, and the paper also states that Ryanair encourages staff to report on colleagues who do wrong. Is this true?
No. And again, we've asked Aftonbladet, please provide any evidence of either people being spied upon or people being threatened with dismissal. It doesn't happen.
Aftonbladet suggests that Ryanair pilots are afraid to report safety incidents. Is this true?
No, it's complete rubbish. Ryanair pilots know we have a confidential internal reporting system, and the Irish Aviation Authority also have a confidential safety reporting system. So any pilot in Ryanair who has a safety concern can report it confidentially either internally within Ryanair or externally through the IAA without any fear of reprisals, because we don't know who makes the complaints. The fact is, however, that Ryanair has an excellent safety reputation. It has an excellent safety system, something that's been verified by the IAA, who've confirmed that Ryanair safety is on a par with the safest airlines in Europe. Not the average, the safest airlines in Europe.
Aftonbladet have claimed that mental pressure on pilots leads to safety problems. Is this true?
I mean, again, it's another one of these false claims that's provided with no examples whatsoever. Ryanair pilots do not suffer from mental pressures in the airline. They have very good rosters, very good pay, rapid promotions, and they're flying on brand new aircraft. The only pilots I'm aware of suffering mental pressures are SAS pilots who are facing the threats of pay cuts and job cuts. In Ryanair, we're creating more jobs, and we've recently agreed a pay increase with our pilots.
The newspaper reports that there was a sign on the wall in the crew room of the 10 cabin crew who sold the lease last month. Is this true?
Untrue. We don't publish figures of cabin crew who either sold the most or sold the least.
Aftonbladet has listed 13 Ryanair flight incidents recorded in the last year. What is your comment on these incidents?
I think it's strange that Aftonbladet say that Ryanair had 13 incidents in the last year without putting it in context that Ryanair operated over 500,000, more than 500,000 flights last year. And of the 13, it's interesting that SAS have reported 13 similar incidents, despite the fact that they operated less than 200,000 flights last year. All airlines have incidents. All these incidents are reported and investigated to the independent safety agencies, and in every case, Ryanair's performance and safety compliance has been vindicated.
Aftonbladet claimed that Ryanair pilots who are at the bottom of the monthly fuel burn league table receive letters asking them to save fuel. Is this true?
Untrue. The letter they receive asks them to make sure they comply with our safety standard operating procedures, which in most cases is to fly safely and more slowly. Don't fly at excessive speeds.
Did Aftonbladet put these claims to Ryanair before writing this article?
The journalist sent us some of these queries over a month ago. We replied to them on the 6th of September, and we're very disappointed that this article has been published without featuring any of Ryanair's responses to these questions, most of which are based on false claims by anonymous so-called pilots.
And finally, can Ryanair confirm the average pay of its pilots and cabin crew at its base in Stockholm Skavsta in the past year?
Yes, the figures we gave to this journalist for Aftonbladet for 2012 confirmed that the average Ryanair captain at the Skavsta base earned over €130,000. The average Ryanair first officer at Skavsta in 2012 earned over €70,000, and the average cabin crew member at Skavsta earned over €30,000. Those are the factual figures. The pay figures published this morning by Aftonbladet are false and are wrong, and have been published without referring to the actual figures provided by Ryanair.
Why would Aftonbladet publish these false claims if they were untrue?
I don't know. That's a question Aftonbladet have to answer. This is the second time in the last number of months that Aftonbladet have published false claims made by anonymous pilots allegedly working for Ryanair, and yet without putting or balancing the article with the factual information provided by Ryanair. We're very disappointed that Aftonbladet continue to do this, but it appears to be part of a campaign by Swedish unions assisted by Aftonbladet with factually inaccurate information, and it's not going to have any effect on Ryanair. Thank you. Okay.